Okay, we will have now a panel about remote banking in 2023 and the trends and challenges in retail and SME. And I will invite by my side Eleni Scoura, Head of Retail Banking, ING Bank, Ionuț Ancescu, Head of Products and Digital Innovation Hub, First Bank, and Lydia Cristei, Chief Operating Officer for CE at FintechOS. Thanks for joining us, and I'm happy to continue the discussion started with Todi. And I will start with trying to do some kind of overview for the CE markets, and I will ask Lydia about what drives innovation on a regional level, and what would be, I don't know, the top 10, the top 3 triggers for massive digital transformation projects in banks in CE.
Thank you for the question.
It's not over.
Okay. Now it's better? Yeah, okay. So I was scared for a moment when you said the top 10, because we wouldn't have finished by the end of this conversation. So, you know, looking at the broader experience that, you know, we at FintechOS have, we see that across the entire Europe, I would say, not only CE banks are challenged, you know, by mostly the same thing. And this is, you know, achieving high customer experience through, you know, seamless journeys and through personalized products, whilst at the same time addressing the cost issue. Because, you know, you need to have the right balance here. I do believe that the times where the banks were, you know, competing each other by just simply matching the other competitors' product features is long gone. So now it's we see the moment that the banks are competing based starting from their customer needs and from their customer expectations, and as I said before, is in their focus to offer meaningful product, because it's not just offering products, it's offering meaningful products, and it's offering seamless and frictionless journeys to their customers, and at the same time, it is has the same utmost importance for them to be able to support the old products, to support the you know, the old systems, and for all of them, for the new and for the old, to offer those in a, you know, great customer experience. So, looking at the digital transformation programs that we are part of, we see that banks are innovating in 2 major directions, to say so. First is innovating in the tactical areas, but it's also innovation regarding on the core modernization part. And looking by, you know, from numbers and time, to say so, that banks are spending in such initiatives, I would say that on the top of my list for triggering digital transformation is the very shift that banks are doing from, and I would say not only banks, I would include here all financial institutions, banks and insurance companies at the same time, the shift from being product-centric to being customer-centric. And I'm not saying anything new, but I believe that it's very important to remember, all of us working in the financial industry, that the customer expectations are not set in the financial industries. And the fact that digitalization is touching all aspects of our life, it's the very catalyst of digital transformation in financial industries. So offering your customers personalized products and services, seamless journeys, frictionless journeys, are actually one huge differentiators for the bank's digital transformation programs. And if you collaborate that with the fact that customer behaviors are changing, and is changing because technologies are advancing and because they shift their preferences from one day to the other, that is really a huge challenge for the banks. And we are still seeing, when we look at the projects that we are running across Europe, an increasing number, I would say, of digital onboarding. And digital onboarding mainly for the retail, for private individuals, and part of it it's also about as I said before, shifting from offline to the digital online process. But I would say that it's also about shifting from legacy products to digital products, because banks need to understand that it's a difference between the product that you are offering assisted, that usually should require actually specialized expertise in financial advice from a clerk, from a banking officer, and digital products. And when I say digital products, I say simple products that can be distributed only through just a few clicks. And looking also at the scorecard, I do believe that banks are competing on the number of clicks their products and are away from the customer. And Todi has discussed before, and you have very well touched the UX part. And based on our experience, no digitalization project should start without an UX stream. And we at FintechOS, and not only, and I'm seeing this with most of our customers, we are looking at the level of friction that each digital journey has. And we are looking at the friction score, and of course the highest ones definitely have to be addressed. On the second, I would mention the core modernization. I've said also before, and you cannot innovate and you cannot address fast the market without core modernization. Nonetheless, core modernization can be very disruptive, and therefore what we have seen with our partners is the fact that they do not start the transformation journeys towards new technology stacks fully, but they are just filling the gaps within their systems by addressing or by putting on top fintech platforms with low-code and no-code capabilities, and as well with the predefined or pre-built capabilities as well. And definitely banks can partner with such fintech. I'm not saying FintechOS, I'm saying fintechs that can fill that gap and can definitely allow them to build customer journeys faster and to deliver value faster, because this is actually one of the main keys. On the third, but it's not necessarily, the preferences. It's just one of the large areas that we've seen the digital transformation programs. It's a shift in the way that banks innovate. In the pandemics area, we've seen a lot of disruptive innovation. Everybody was just wanting to be the first launching a new thing. Now we see that they are more focused on sustainable innovation. And what they actually do, they are actually trying to improve the key business processes. And we see this trend also in the branch, but also in the back office. The back office like loan operations, for example. And if we look at the branch, because we are talking about digitalization, and this is not just about customer accessing your product in a digital way, it's also about the tools that you make available to your branch officers, to your people in the branch. And from this perspective, there are two ways that the digital is touching a branch. And we see digital banking and we see digital enhanced branches. Digital means that you replace the branch activities with the digital, like onboarding, like applying for a loan, for example. And the digital enhanced is where you are just taking the low value creating activities, you are digitalizing those, and you leave your staff, your employees, to take care of those that are bringing high value. And in such a way, you are just, making the customer experience in the branch a better one. And in this last trigger to say so, I will mention the SMEs, because definitely SMEs are underserved in both banking and in insurance, and we are seeing more and more that the banks are shifting their attention also to the SME sectors, starting to look also at to increase the efficiency, mainly in loan management that is addressing the SME sector.
Okay, thanks, Lydia. I will go now to Eleni and Yunus, because you both have customer-centric banks, and I was curious, you also have digital savvy clients, and by the way, ING no longer have physical cash desks, so you probably have a lot of digital savvy clients. What are the expectations of these clients, and what features of a digital bank are the most appreciated? And I will start with you, Eleni, here.
Thank you very much. Indeed, the ING client is, I would say, yes, the most digital, maybe the most digital savvy client in Romania, because in our DNA is digitalization. I think Home Bank, we can all agree, has been the first banking platform to introduce this type of banking in the market. I would say to a certain extent, retail banking in Romania today is done after the model that ING introduced in the market and set some standards. And I think we have a fantastic retail banking in Romania right now, one of the most active and most exciting in Europe. Now, the ING client is definitely one with very high expectations. With a team on a daily basis, we are discussing and we are saying for whom we are designing. And we like to say that Romanian excellence is represented by our clients. I would say, without saying he's our client, he's not, I would say that the everyday David Popovici is a client of the everyday Romanian who is like David Popovici. The Romanian excellence is a client of ING Romania. What does this mean? This required for us to shift our mindset and the way we were to take to a new level the way we are designing products and solutions for our clients. And around 2 years ago, we were saying, okay, we do banking, and we say our customers do their thing. Yes, do your thing. This is our brand promise. Do they think the customers every day what my bank is going to offer for me? No. The customers want to live their life. They want to watch Netflix, they want to go and pick their kids from school, they want to be able to see what are they doing, their kids, with the pocket money they're giving them, and so on and so forth. So we realized that we need to start developing solutions that are going to bridge banking services with the lifestyle of our clients. We call this lifestyle banking or real life banking, and it starts always from consumer research, client research, UX, UI, and not only of the external customer, the everyday David Popovic, but also our internal clients, our back office, our colleagues in the front office. Now, this, because the client of ING is, as what the Minister Burduza said earlier, that the private sector here is taking economy forward. We like to think the client of ING, like the clients of most of the banks here, but we focus on our clients, is the backbone of Romanian economy. So we have a huge responsibility to take our services to a new level. We don't design product, we design value propositions, we design journeys, we design solutions for their lifestyle. What are they using the most? Because you asked what they are preferring. Payments, to a huge extent. I will tell you only that only in home bank, every second, they just happen 3 payments. And this is just in home bank. And today, yes, and every month is increasing and increasing. Another second passed, I will tell you that in the wallet of our customers, they tapped 3 times their phones. And I don't put here transactions that are happening with the plastic card used. I'm talking only about home bank transactions and mobile tap transactions. They love, from the payments solutions that we are offering, the solution Catreo Prieten. That I have to admit, I was so jealous. I was working in other institutions when I saw ING launching it years ago. So, a payment to a friend, more than 10% share of our payments in Wimbank, showing the strength of the ING clients community. And we believe that this type of payment, peer-to-peer, has great future in Romania and among the banks. With instant payments, with different initiatives that we're doing, the alias pay, this is the future. In fact, this is the present, and we have to run and do it more. Very recently, we launched, we are among, if not the first bank, among the first, that our clients can withdraw contactless from the ATMs using the phone, which is such a new way of doing transactions that I forget that I can do it like this and I still take out the plastic. But literally, you don't need to take your wallet anymore. Yes? Get your phone and go. And sky's the limit.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Eleni. I will go to Ionuț because I know that you also are very customer-centric and you have invested a lot in self-service flows from onboarding to card administration. So I would ask you like the same, maybe what expectation have you seen in your clients and what are you preparing for them in the future?
First of all, thank you for the invitation, Răzvan. What can I say about after the 2 great speeches, presentations before me? I agree. However, I would build upon what Lydia said before. I would say that the greatest benefit of digital processes is the customer experience. I mean, we are pragmatic. So we have a pragmatic approach to performance of each channel and product. However, as Lydia said before, the most important is the customer experience, because that is what helps you building sustainably and for the future, of the customer base. I would say that we have focused, as you said before, on the digital payments area, cards, self-service, whereby we have created an entire ecosystem of self-service. I mean, with First Bank, you can do everything related to a card payment, to a card management, issuing of a card, managing the limits related to a card, and even managing your subscriptions, where your card was registered, in what wallet your card was registered, and further adding to this, I would say that and building upon what the minister said before related to Ghișeu.ro, As you become a first bank customer, we have an integration with ghișeu.ro, so you don't have to enter ghișeu.ro. You can practically interrogate ghișeu.ro from the first bank application. You can see all your taxes concentrated in a single place and pay them with a single click. These are two examples that I can give right now. And
if I can say, your profile inspired us for next year scorecard, because we've seen a lot of features that must be in the next scorecard, and a lot of digital banks should have, like this ghișeu.ro integration, like subscriptions. It's a very useful feature.
I would say that, not all customers are fully digital, not all customers are fully branch prone. And we are building all-around proposition for the customers so that we can meet their needs. The same customer can have a digital approach to working with a bank when it comes to current accounts, when it comes to cards. However, when taking a life decision, let's say a mortgage loan for 30 years, the same customer would need to have a discussion with a human operator. And our all-round proposition to the customer is that we have 100% digital processes. We have digital processes through video bank with a human operator in the back, and of course we have digitalized processes in the branch interaction. So we believe in the all-round interaction that practically creates the entire ecosystem necessary for the customer's needs.
Thanks, Janusz. And I would follow up on what you've said, because you mentioned mortgage loans, and I think that First and ING have simplified the flows for mortgage, and I wanted to ask you both how much can we go through simplification in the mortgage area, because it's one of the loans that we can't take it in like hours or maybe days. I know friends that got a mortgage in 3-4 weeks. So how much can we innovate here and shorten the time from the first interaction, not necessarily visiting a branch, but from the first interaction to the signed contract?
Here we have automatized the digital process related to a mortgage loan to the minimum required by law. As you well know, the actual mortgage contracts need to be signed within a branch premise, and this is regulated by law. Otherwise, you can do the entire process with the first bank from a distance. Only the mandatory, let's say, visit to the branch to sign the contract. There are two parts to the mortgage contract or the mortgage. The first part, which is the financial review, and the second part, which also includes the evaluation of the property and the analysis, the legal analysis of the documentation, property documentation. And very briefly, I would say that for the financial analysis, we are speaking about minutes or hours. And related to the entire process, let's say that if you come to First Bank this week, you can be the proud owner of a house or an apartment the next week.
Yes, here I believe that is the most important decision a person takes into his life financial, most of the people. Definitely for me, it was the most important financial decision I took when I bought my house. So having this in mind and the profile of our customers, we realized that 50% of them, they would like first to have a discussion with one of our consultants before they start looking. And 50% of our clients, exactly because of their profile, are those customers who really want to stay next to their partner on a couch and discuss, dream together. And having this in mind, after discussing with the clients, we launched last February the first financial approval fully digital in less than 5 minutes. Any customer of Homebank anybody, any Homebank customer, could get an answer in 3 minutes, in fact. Yeah. What is the size of the loan he can get from us, committed. So we're very proud for this. And we have kept digitalizing the second step of the process, which is the documents validation. And indeed, the last step, the signature should be done still in a branch. So the experience with us, I would say it is, with ING, I would say it is the most frictionless possible. And it all started with this dream we have to, and I think we moved the market also very much by announcing this news last year, Q1, that any client of ING can get an answer in less than 3 minutes if they can get a loan. We are very proud of this.
Okay, thanks. Lydia, if you can add here about these technical challenges, because we have here 2 banks that have a simplified flow, but not all the banks in the market allow you to get a mortgage in like a week or so. But
yeah, so as has been said before, definitely the mortgage loan is not an easy product yet. It's not an easy product yet, and the best customer experience should be definitely an end-to-end online one. Nonetheless, there are these challenges that the banks need to address. So it's the speed to getting the loan and to access the funds, and this should be covered in a great customer experience. And as we have said, then it's the moving to online challenge. And last but not least is the regulatory challenge, which, as we see in Romania, is not, I will use the word hinder, which is not a nice word, but still it's the reality, does not allow you to have a full end-to-end flow. Nonetheless, I do believe that banks can innovate in different areas, as both ING and First Bank did, but it's not only one recipe. It's about the possibility, for example, to embed other financial products and to offer your customers a frictionless, as we said, and a seamless journey. And I'm referring here, for example, to insurance, property insurance, life insurance. So it's not only that you offer a good customer experience and the customer doesn't have to go to an insurance company, buy an insurance policy and come back to the bank, but it's also improving the bank's processes. And it's also allowing the bank to take a more documented and riskless decision when it comes to granting the mortgage loan. And nonetheless, I do believe that innovating by bringing the digital flow in an assisted flow, it's also what banks in Romania can do when it comes to mortgage loan. Unlike Western Europe, where they can be fully digital. And here I do see 2 main advantages. It's the advantage of great customer experience, but it's also the advantage of good or great employee experience and employee satisfaction, because in just digitalizing parts of the flow, you take the low value added activities, you automate those, you digitalize those, and you allow the employee to be engaged in, creating value for the customer and into providing a high quality of interaction with your customer in giving advice. Because as I've said in the beginning, you need to preserve the energy and the expertise of your staff to engage in financial advice for the customer and not in just doing repetitive and activities that can, each and every technology can do these days. Keep your staff to do what technology cannot do.
Okay, Thanks a lot. I will go to another subject because I've seen in the report that a lot of banks started to address the younger generation, so delivering cards for children and delivering different propositions for students or so on. So I was curious, how do you see the expectations of the Generation Z? So every bank should aim to deliver best value and best customer experience to Generation Z, because they will be the main clients in a few years.
They are already.
Sorry?
They are already.
They are already, okay. So how do you see this segment and what expectations are having from you?
I can start? Okay, we are definitely focusing on Generation Z, and I would say Generation Alpha also.
Okay.
But I just found out my son is the last, he's born in 2011, and apparently this is the kids after 2011 belong to Generation Alpha. So in ING last year, we launched a value proposition for the age group 18 to 24, and it's called Free at ING. And from 10 to 18, only just December, I don't know if you have seen ING Young. Touches also Generation Alpha that are now 10 years old and from 12 and below. So from 10 years old to 18, ING Young, from 18 to 24, Free at ING. Part of the lifestyle banking concept, which we evolve in family banking, because as I said, who is the client of ING, the core client? Motorul Economiei Romaniei. Yes, they have kids who are Generation Z, early, and Generation Alpha. For us, next step is family banking. And talking about customer experience and UX UI, ING Young, which is home bank for kids, yes, who their parents are our customers. They can digitally onboard end-to-end if the parent is a client. And how did we do it? More than 2,000 client interviews, adults and kids, more than 200 screens designed to end up using 18 and trying all the time to simplify as much as possible, and answering to the needs, because you say, what are the needs? I will tell you what are the needs of the kids, autonomy. But what are the needs of the parents? Control. So controlled autonomy, lifestyle banking. So how banking answers to lifestyle needs. Control autonomy for the families who are banking with ING, I would say with an excellent customer experience, which keeps evolving. The 18 to 24, Free at ING, having bill payments, which we launched in November, between them for the community. Facem o cheta. Because they interviewed the kids, showed that this is what they want. Special discounts ecosystem inside ING Bazaar, which we took to the next level. And a lot of roundup, because you would be surprised. But the kids who are 18, 19, 20, they want to start saving also. I don't know how. I was almost always on debt to my sister included at their age. They want to save. So Roundup is teaching them. Also younger kids, the ING young audience. So by constant dialogue, a lot of research, listening to our clients, I think we are also positioning our value proposition as the right one for two age groups that are to which we believe very, very much, because this is the future, yes? Generation Z and Generation Alpha, my son, his friends.
I wasn't expecting talking about Generation Alpha, but we have to be a step forward. Ionuț?
Yeah, I would repeat a cliché. However, we see that the younger the persons that use our channels, the more they are prone towards digital. So actually they are going for the little cookies that we have hidden in the application, like CVV dynamic, like the subscription that I mentioned before, the kind of features that are not so much used in general by other customers of the application. So we are kind of developing together with our client base. So we started forming our digital base. We have our video bank interface and also the branch. And I would say that the first two are the ones that are growing and providing us the future for the next base of customers.
I was curious because you mentioned also one of the security features you have in the app, and the security was a main chapter in the report. So I wanted to know here if clients are very aware of all the risks a transaction could have, and they ask for different security features. I mean, dynamic CVV wasn't in my mind before talking with you, but for sure it was asked by your customers.
Yeah, in this area I would like to say that actually I myself, I am a kind of technical person, the digital native, let's say, wannabe. And I would say that a lot of the people in this hall are also digitalized, so they are prone to using the digital channels. However, when speaking about the security, we should not first think of what we can do in our systems from the technical point of view. I would say that the greatest danger right now and the most problems are posed when criminal, let's say, masterminds are attacking our customers. So this is why recently during the winter holidays we have focused more on providing the right information to our customers related to phishing attacks, related to how they should manage their credentials and their digital identity. So I would say that is the most important focus that us, all the banks together, to continue doing efforts in the media in order to provide this information to the customers and make them aware. Now, related to what we can do internally in banks, I would say that it is very important to make the security not an effort for the customer. So security should work in the background and provide the customer with a seamless experience. I mean, we are focusing not to using physical tokens. We do not want to oblige customers to memorize tens of passwords and usernames. We do not want customers necessarily to use physical tokens or use separate token applications. We can embed, like we did, a token generator within the app that is working in the background. The customer doesn't even know to have to use it. So these are the two areas that we are focusing on. The first one is educating the public, providing information. That is the most important, and what we did in the very actively in the past few months. And secondly, make security seamless, not a burden for the customer.
Okay, thanks. Now, as an ex-journalist, I would ask you some figures maybe, and I will start with Eleni, because I was curious. The digital loan you provide to the customer. I know that I've seen some figures in the past that a lot of ING clients are just going to home bank and get the loan through mobile app, but what is the share of customers that are preferring to avoid the branch and just take a loan from the phone? And after that I will ask you, Yunus, because you also have video banking, and I would ask you the same question.
55% of our customers who have personal needs loans prefer to take it completely unassisted from home bank. But here I want to say that I have a little different view, that I don't see a separation between physical and digital. Mm-hmm. It's very important, the physical environment with very educated advisors. And why I'm saying this? Because for me, everything should be digital and exposed also the digital processes in the physical environment. So the number I just gave you, the 55%, mm-hmm. refers to those who unassisted took the loan. But this number augments, goes to 85%, if I add those that with exactly the same process, but assisted by an ING advisor, took it from inside the branch. Because we were discussing earlier about Lydia with you about giving tools to the network, and this is what we try to do. We try to digitalize everything and expose them to be channel agnostic. The physical channel is very important and will remain. What I didn't tell you earlier is that you said about Digital Z. Digital Z asks also to be able to have advisors to talk to, either through video or around the corner. So 55% unassisted, mm-hmm. 85%. Those who don't have the rest are those who don't have enough, and you cannot, and you go to the physical process, which is digital also in the back. Yes, it's just not online channel. Thank you.
Yeah.
I would add, related to First Bank, that we are practically a new bank. So in the last 3 years, we have underwent very deep transformations. And compared to other banks' client base, we are growing. So what I can say to you about our digital, let's say, wallet, share of wallet, is that is growing very rapidly. However, our channels and proposition is in young and is in continuous growth.
Okay. Now I will ask for some questions from the audience. It's a microphone there near my colleague from the video, and if there are questions for our speakers today, please feel free to ask them. I don't know how to interpret this silence, but...
Don't be shy.
Yes, there's a question. Oh, let me.
Thank you. Hello. Oh, it's a bit louder. Yeah, I'm Sebastian Piu from UniCredit. We are a digital broker, a new one in the market. Yeah. And I want to ask you, both ING and First Bank are our partners, but we have a mix right now between online and offline, trying to match the flows that the banks right now have for the clients. And my question is, when to expect a greater opening from the banks to integrate with digital platform who are providing clients? Because
but what do you exactly mean? Anything, if it is has a solid business proposition and is not a risky one, I think all the banks very open to discuss with providers, because we want to integrate. We see ourselves, lifestyle banking, greater ecosystem.
Exactly. What we are doing at UniCredit, we have built a platform where the client, we empower the client to understand the lending product, even if it's a personal loan or a mortgage loan, and help him through the process of understanding the benefits of a product, and then help him to choose through online channels. And then we'll connect, right now we are connecting the client with the preferred lending institution, yeah. But
okay.
yeah, but sometimes the integration right now some banks doesn't have flows to integrate with us, and some are on hold, let's say like that. And we are looking further to put together the systems that the banks and the lending institutions have in order to create that lifestyle of lending that you said, Eleni.
I would comment only the fact that the appetite is there. However, there is only a matter of technical prioritization in our backlogs. So we can build from the technological point of view as much as we can build. So we have to prioritize, and but the appetite for this kind of creating the right ecosystem for the customer is there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Another question there.
Other questions?
Hello, I'm Alexandru Mitroi. I'm part of the Temenos AG company. So one question about the regulatory requirements, and I think that is being felt by every single bank, ING, First Bank, Banca, Transilvania, so on and so forth. Is there a push from the bank side as a group to actually try and speak with the regulator in order to accept a more digital approach to things? Because, and also consuming services as a SaaS, yeah? Because I think, well, ING is mostly in-house software, but there are smaller banks which can get a value out of SaaS. So is there an approach to this?
I would say that the banks collaborate very well through RFB in the direction of having a dialogue with the authorities, and I think that even later today we will have somebody from Evidența Populației. We are discussing as an association of banks with Evidența Populației, and we are very, very keen in this kind of integration that will smoothen a lot the process of onboarding, will reduce the possibility of fraud. So this is one example, the verification of identity with a much higher certitude. And I hardly wait to see the discussion that will be later today. Already there is integration with the Ministry of Finance related to income, and in that area I would say that we only need some improvements from probably the technological point of view, the stability of the connection, and the reliability of the technical development in itself. So I would say that we are quite advanced.
Indeed, and I would say it's very right, your question. Yes, and the answer is yes, but I wouldn't put it as do we pressure the regulator, or I wouldn't put it like this, because honestly I believe we have a very, how to say, prudent regulator and quite modern, because you mentioned enough integration with the financial. When I say this to colleagues from other countries, they're shocked. This is rocket science for them. Now, what's going to happen now with Evidența Populației? We are not so bad in Romania. But yes, I understand it's also the cloud, it's more things that you are referring to. I think we are getting there very fast to be able, to have more confidence, but we are all learning. So sometimes it's not just the regulator, it's also us, the banks, that we need to understand what risks are we taking when we are opening up in the, it's our security officers understanding more. We are getting there. I think we are in a good stage.
I'm not saying we're on the back foot of it. Definitely Romania is advanced, but there are things, and I'm talking to banks on a daily basis, and not just Romania. This is where I live, but worldwide. And things like the last step of having to sign by hand, yeah, these can be get rid of because technology is so advanced. But I think it's a group approach in terms of all the banks trying and have this open discussion and provide the technical proof that this can be as good as a hand signature. And if banks singularly try and push for that approach, and it's the same discussion with SaaS. The Romanian authorities are not really keen in doing banking in SaaS, but I think as a group is much more achievable, and it brings value for everyone. Yeah, it's not just ING or First Bank; it's all the banks in the market.
Yeah. I think you are referring to the mortgage last signature as an example, which, by the way, I think is the next big thing to happen. So we had ANAF, which was huge. Think of volumes, yes?
Yep.
A bank like ING gives 1 out of 5 mortgages in the market traditionally, but this still is in the tenths of thousands. Yes, in the interrogations overall for lending to ANAF, we're talking for hundreds of thousands for ING only, so much bigger volumes. This is automated, you know, it has APIs, and now it's evidenza populace that I think it is super priority, and I'm so happy we are doing this. And I want to thank, I think we are all very thankful to the public institutions who were so open to implement this with us. And next one, it will be the signature at the branch. And because the digital education also, we are advanced, but not everybody. Still, there is a very big need to enter. When you buy a house, the last signature is the last thing that you are...
Is your seal for life.
Exactly.
Good,
but we will get there. But yes, you are very software as a service. It is something that we should all become more easy to work with.
Yeah, it can
but it's not just the authorities, it's also us.
It can bring value because you can consume it faster. And it's cheaper than running it yourself.
Yeah, but for me it's not the regulator, it's mostly us that we have to understand what risks, how much we're exposing ourselves to this.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
And I would say that in our case, for the scoring and the financial analysis of companies, we actually use software as a service services. So we bring data automatically within our process and integrate multiple, let's say, providers of SaaS.
Yeah, I think the regulation piece is around where the data is sitting. So there is a big push on not having the data in a SaaS service for the moment. You can interrogate it, but it's the data at rest, basically. Because the data is the most precious thing the bank has, basically. Yeah. So, fair enough. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And thank you all for being here and joining this panel.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.